On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Triple H's creative takeover changed the culture within the WWE. WWE is planning to hold a major show for India in January, and WWE is also set to hold 2-day tryouts at the IMG Academy. Folks, it's time to hit around the world into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Sean Ross Sapp reported on Fightful Select that changes in WWE are also apparent backstage. It is noted that backstage morale has improved in big ways over the last several months, and the culture has changed within the company as well. WWE delivering strong quarterly numbers. Everything seems safe for the company in a post-Vince McMahon world. However, the backstage morale has improved significantly. Speaking with members of the locker room over the last several months, the culture has been changed based on those that were willing to speak on it. Almost everyone said that going to work was much more fun and easygoing compared to the Vince McMahon era, with one saying there isn't a perpetual fear of getting fired for the things you can't control. Another noted that there are still some talent that aren't being used effectively, but that it's a vast improvement over where things were in the summer. The creative input and ability to improvise more was also touted. It was also noted that, quote, numerous talent that we spoke with looked back at that point as near an all-time low for them in the company from a creative satisfaction and booking standpoint to losing faith in Vince McMahon as a creative force and a leader in some sense. Right now, there is a lot of, quote, optimism of Triple H's booking creative despite there being some hiccups. It's obvious to note that the WWE has come under a resurgence ever since the Triple H era. I like the work. So there's the Vince McMahon era and there's the Triple H regime. So now that we're under the Triple H regime, there's obviously been a lot of changes, and I do like that with some of the good changes, there's also been some of the bad changes. Most recently, nobody's really over the moon about scripts coming back. Everybody is a little bit upset about how his character, got molded and everything. So it's not that Triple H isn't hitting them on all cylinders, which I really like. I like the Poe Body's Nerfix thing, you know what I mean? So it really just goes to show the type of person that Vince McMahon was and just how he felt as though that the company should have gone, despite the fact that almost no one agreed, which I really like. I love it, man. I love that he was really just like, bro, I don't care. I want that guy. And it was like, no. And he's like, well, yeah, obviously, what do you mean? Triple H is definitely not been doing the best, but I still have faith in scripts, okay? I still have faith that Triple H is going to turn this guy into, a character that we will all look back on and be like, oh, remember when he came out and he had that stupid mask on? I'm hoping that mask changes. It probably isn't going to, but I'm hoping that somewhere down the line, Triple H is going to be like, take that off. Next, we're going to be talking about WWE planning a major show for India in January. A major WWE show in India is reportedly in the works for early next year. According to a report from Sportskeeda, WWE is planning to run a show on, quote, a grand scale from Hyderabad, and the most likely date being Wednesday, January 18th. The event would come almost a year after WWE's Superstar Spectacle was filmed for the Indian market on January 22nd, 2021. The event featured Drew McIntyre teaming with Indish Sher and defeating Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys in the main event. It was filmed with no fans in attendance from Tropicana Field and aired on India's Republic Day 4 days later on January 26th. Superstar Spectacle was part of the company's deal with Sony Pictures India. WWE and Sony announced a 5-year extension in 2020 and revealed the deal would also involve the company returning to India with, quote, bigger live events, and, quote, superstars will visit the region for promotional tours to engage with fans. I love that WWE is doing this. I feel like this kind of goes without saying, but I do kind of like WWE is definitely at the forefront of that. You've got NJPW and AEW sort of doing a couple things here and there. You've got NJPW going to America with Noah, and you've got AEW about to do the whole London thing. But I think WWE is really the leader in the sense of we're going to go here and we're also going to go over there, and we're going to start doing we're going to start doing shows over there, and we're going to do NXT Europe and all that sort of stuff. Keep that in your minds, all right? NXT Europe is still a thing. There's been a lot of different types of events that they've done, and obviously you could argue that the Saudi Arabia events are more blood money than they are WWE trying to showcase talent to different parts of the world. But to be fair, the last 3 pay-per-views that have been held in Saudi Arabia have been a lot better than the last few, where it was just someone just pulling out a bunch of wrestlers from a toy box and being like, I want these guys to fight, you know what I mean? So it's been a lot better than it used to be, and I think that is what is going to start happening going forward. I think the WWE and Saudi Arabia and, parts of India and, different parts of the world, in the Eastern territories and everything like that, I think they're going to be like, we're going to not focus on that too much, and we're going to look more towards trying to build a better overall cohesive show for everyone involved, for the wrestlers, for, everybody within the WWE team and anybody, who wants WWE pay-per-views, premium live events to be showcased on that part of the world. This doesn't sound like the whole, blood money thing. Like, you could argue that Saudi Arabia is that. You could still argue that if you want to. That's why Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan don't go there. But I would like to think that this is less of that, and this is more like, no, we're cool, we're all right, you know what I'm saying? We actually like you guys. We're not, Finally, we're going to be talking about WWE and how it's set to hold a 2-day tryout at IMG Academy. According to a report by Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, WWE will hold a 2-day tryout at IMG Academy on November 30th and December 1st. Approximately 30 to 35 athletes will be taking part in the IMG tryout. WWE's head of talent operations and strategy, James Kimball, also talked about the upcoming tryout. There are countless examples of top talent that came into the business via college sports, but there hasn't always been a system built out. That's what we're trying to create here, a true talent development pathway into WWE for college athletes. We want a clear calendar. Moving forward, we're going to emulate what we've done in 2022. It's really important that there is a clear schedule, as college athletes have so many options. For wrestlers on the independents, that system is in place and that pathway to WWE is well known. So our resources are allocated to building a new pathway to collegiate sports. We're just scratching the surface. We've been working on this for a year, and it's going to take years, but we're growing. We're adding quality and depth, and the work is just starting with college athletes nationwide. This isn't the first time WWE has done something like this, where they've been like, hey, are you into football and you are able to do a bunch of flips and everything? Get on over here, you know what I mean? Sol Ruka is like the first person that right? The surfer lady? And then obviously Reggie, right? I don't remember, Bodie Hayward was one of them too, where they were coming in from I forget what it's called, the NRG thing or something. I think that was during the time when Vince McMahon was like, I don't want any more indie guys. I just want guys who are specifically from other sports. You know what I mean? And then they brought those guys in. And I mean, so far they've been doing pretty well. So I think Sol Ruka's injured. I don't think she is. I don't think she's injured. And obviously, Reggie just came back. And Bodie Hayward was unfortunately released, but apparently he wasn't okay to work with. Listen, I don't know. It sounds like they're gonna be doing more of this. It sounds like they're gonna be getting a lot more people in. It's gonna be a while before we actually see them in a professional wrestling ring, because they gotta learn how to do everything and stuff like that, and then they have to get a gimmick and all that. So really, we just gotta wait and see what's actually gonna happen with them, and where they're actually gonna end up. So only time will tell. I mean, listen, in a perfect world, they'll all be signed. But then again, that's 35 people. I don't know exactly what you would do with them. So we kind of really got to wait and see at the end of the day. What did we talk about? We talked about Triple H and how he changed the culture of the WWE. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense given everything that's been going on, and how he's obviously been looking at things through a different lens than Vince McMahon, and how Vince McMahon was like, I'm going to inject poison, and Triple H was like, we don't have to do all that. We don't, no injections of any kind, okay? We're all right over here. Obviously, things have changed for the better, and you would argue that has he been doing great? He's been doing a lot better than Vince. Has he been perfect? No, but he's been doing way better than Vince, okay? WWE is also holding, they're going to be holding an event in January in India, in Hyderabad, okay, on Wednesday, January 18th. We really have to wait and see what that is. I like the WWE. I say this all the time. I like that certain companies are expanding and everything like that. But you do have to give WWE credit, because they're the ones who did it first, and they're doing it the most as well. They're doing it the most. And finally, WWE are going to be holding 2-day tryouts at the IMG Academy. So again, I can't really say anything about the people who were going to be there, because it's one of those things of remember when Deacon Batista showed up and everybody was like, oh, who's this guy? You know what I mean? You have no idea that one of them could potentially be the next world champion. We don't know. So as always, time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. As always, big hugs all around.